Women are liars. Hear me out before you come for me with the pitchforks. We're having conversations around what women say they want, what they say they prefer, what they say they believe, and how their actions line up to that. So some of our common themes of the last few years, at least, have been body positivity, so no body shaming. It has been decentering men, saying that we want financial independence, and I'm going to see how we tie all those in a moment. But here are the facts. And I looked these up, so I'm not just pulling these out of the sky. The makeup and cosmetic industry, $335.95 billion. Skincare, $115.65 billion. Cosmetic med spas and cosmetic surgery, $99.9 billion. The weight loss industry, $297.43 billion and projected to be $590 billion by 2033. These industries are largely held up by us, the women. So if we are decentering men and we're learning to love ourselves for who we are, and this is not in relation to exercise and keeping your body healthy and cared for, this is what we spend, a lot of women, not all women, a lot of women, to be accepted by men, by society, to feel good enough to get on a dating app or go on to dates. We control what we eat, and then when we eat, we go out and we spend on the diet industry to then shrink ourselves back down to a very palatable, acceptable level, whatever we think that means. We spend so much, not on makeup, not because makeup is fun, and I love makeup, I love nails, I love all the things, but we can spend so much, not just on the things that make us happy, but we're doing it to achieve an end, which is sometimes to attract a man, which that would not be decentering men, would it necessarily? Or we alter how we do our makeup. We alter the size of our body. We do all these things not necessarily for ourselves, but for the approval, validation, and acceptance of someone or other people, men and women alike. It might be your family, it could be a partner, it could be any one of those things. I also looked up how much women spend preparing for a date. Now, this isn't all women, this is a very generalized number, but on average it's $50 to $100, which includes often waxing, maybe a hair blowout, and that would not count if you got your hair cut or colored. Getting a mani-pedi, upwards of between $50 and $100, with a very few percent going as high as $150, and that is before you walk out the door. Understanding that already your clothes cost more, your shoes cost more, everything women do costs more. So the question is, are we decentering men? Are we actually operating in body positivity and acceptance? Is what we're doing solely for our own acceptance, our own pleasure, our own enjoyment? Or are we lying to ourselves, saying that we want these things, but we're actually not behaving as such? The amount of stuff that I know women who are on the dating apps, the number of horrific stories, and they're all the same. The number of horrific stories of not only the men they've encountered in the app portion of the site, but when they go out on dates and these men start behaving badly, they don't stop the date. They don't call an Uber and get out of there. They don't call a girlfriend and get out of there. And I get it. Sometimes it's a safety issue. I understand that. But just as many times we will tolerate a texting conversation that is just absolute BS. And you know you don't want to meet up with that guy, but you still don't necessarily want to be direct and ugly to him. And why not? He's being very offensive to you. He's being very rude to you. He's being very vulgar to you. So why do we put up with that? And all of this is going to lead us to, we say we want other things. Women need to have more money. It is the single biggest game changer for women. Me and my partner worked individually, and now we have partnered up earlier this year, almost 6 months ago now, and we have big plans. But even ourselves, we have not taken all the actions we needed to take to get where we wanted to be right now. Now we are correcting that. We are doing some things. We are putting some things in place to make sure we don't continue to make those same mistakes. But at the same time, we have to, and we speak largely to women. This advice could go towards anyone. But we're saying women need to start being honest with themselves. What do you really believe? What do you really want? What's going to have to happen in order for you to make the decision to change your behaviors to line up with what you say you believe and what you want? Now, this is what we're going to be talking on our Becoming Holy Women. Holy as in the whole women, not the churchy stuff. Next week, we're going to have our podcast that's coming out, and we're going to be talking about that. And if you have any thoughts about this, if you have any comments, please feel free to share, because we would like to address some of these issues, because it is becoming a very big concern. And considering that we are holding up billions and billions of dollars of industry with our choices, it's time for us to decide where our money belongs, in our bank accounts, but when we're spending it and circulating it, where does it belong? Who deserves it? And what industries are we going to support? Because I am all for healthcare, keeping your body healthy, keeping your body beautiful to you, as long as what you're doing just makes you feel like $1,000,000. But we don't want women doing things for the acceptable male gaze, or to just find a man who likes you doing all that, because again, a lot of times that's not sustainable. And that's part of what we're going to be talking about. Whatever we do at the beginning, you need to keep doing, because that's authenticity. That's being true to yourself. And that's what we want women to do. Be true to yourself. And so let's start being honest. Let's take the taboo and put it on the table. And let's talk about whether our words and our actions align. We look forward to your comments, and we'll see you on the other side.